Hey friends, welcome to my backyard. I just found out I'm moving, so I have to empty these pools down here, so I'm going to take you with me. While I answer these questions, I have a ton of questions that I want to answer for you, and I'm going to put timestamps down below, so if you have a specific question, you can just hit the timestamp and it'll take you right to the answer. Let's do it. Can't see my face. This big pool is potatoes. It used to have really big plants in it, but it doesn't now, so I don't know if everything is rotten, disintegrated, if it's dirt, if it's potatoes, I have no idea. So I have holes to fill all around here, so I'm just gonna throw the dirt out and we'll see what we find while I answer the questions. First question is, how did I decide to amputate? I did an entire video on that, and I will link it in the description below. And it is basically, I removed my feelings out of it because feelings can lead you astray. So I decided to take the feelings completely out of it and focus only on my checklist. And my checklist was, I wanted to be able to play with my kids, walk, run, live a quality of life that I wanted. And past that, I would have to make the hard decisions to have that quality of life. So that's what I did. And again, I did an entire elaborate video about it, and I will link it down below. The next question that I get all the time is, how did I get a surgeon to actually amputate? And that is actually not really for me, because I was a candidate. I didn't have to convince anybody. I saw 3 different surgeons. One of them was calling me crazy for wanting to amputate. He wanted to do a fusion because he was a fusion specialist. One of them wanted to do a cadaver replacement bone because that's what he did. He was an orthopedic specialist, and he had come up with this new way of replacing bone. But the problem with the cadaver bone was that I wouldn't be able to walk very well. I would have to be extremely cautious and careful. I couldn't step off curbs or on mulch or grass, things like that. So that wasn't the quality of life that I was looking for. That wasn't on my checklist. So we went to see the amputation specialist, and he said, absolutely, you're a candidate. That's not a problem at all. We will go over the pros and cons with you and leave it up to you, because it is elective. You get to decide. So my husband and I took the information that he gave us, and that's how we decided, and that's how we got a surgeon to do it. But again, it was because I was fully qualified to have it done. I'm trying to find some potatoes. Let's see. Is this? Ooh, that's a good worm. Wow, I bet he's loving life in here. Okay, the next question that I get all the time is, how long did it take to go from chop to prosthesis? And that was 8 weeks for me. It should have been 6, but I had a scar that where they amputated, that did not heal correctly. And you can check out that video as well. I documented all of that. I had to have a wound revision, so they had to open up my entire limb scar and reseal it. So they had to cut all of that wasn't healing and put it back together and sew it back together. So that took an extra 2 weeks. I'm trying to find some potatoes, but it's not working. I guess they're all gone. They all turned back to dirt. So that took another 2 weeks to heal, and then at that point, whenever I took my stitches out and they gave me the little butterfly things on the end of my limb, I was ready to go. So it took me 8 weeks to go to prosthesis. And then once I had my prosthesis, it only took me about a week before I was walking normally, independently on my own. One of the questions that I get also is, how do I stand up from the floor? And just like this, I put my leg down, I push off with my hand down here, and I stand up. we go any further on this potato treasure hunt, if you want to support me helping other people through these videos, please hit like and subscribe. It helps me more than you'll ever know. I really, really appreciate it, and it's totally free for you to do. And it allows me to continue to put these out and help other people, and YouTube will know that it is beneficial by you doing that. And also, if you want to check out the inside scoop of all the juicy details of my life, you can head on over to Patreon. That's where I put all of the first look and the, tells where I'm going, what I'm doing, and all of the struggles that I don't put on social media. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. I really appreciate you being here. On with the treasure hunt. Okay, I went ahead and dug up some more of the pool, and I haven't found any potatoes yet, but we're not to where the plants are either, so we'll see if we can find some along the way. The next question that I get all the time is, why couldn't they save my leg? And they could. They absolutely could. The reason that I chose not to save my leg was because it was causing me more harm than good at the time. I couldn't live the quality of life that I wanted to live, and so I decided to let my... Oh! A potato! Look! And here's another one! It's a little baby red potato. Over here is red potato, over there is russet. Maybe I found some, because here's another one. There's another one. So there's 3. That's dinner. Oh, here's another one. Ooh, that's a big one. Okay, I'm going to set those right there so you guys can see them. Let's see if there's anything else right here. They could save my leg. Absolutely. I chose not to save it, again, because it was causing me more harm than good. I couldn't live my life, so there was no sense in saving it. Look at all these potatoes. I had no idea this was working. This was just a brainchild that I had and decided to give it a try. Anyway, whenever I went to see the surgeon, my bone was starting to die, and so he told me it was just a matter of time. It wasn't really if it was going to fail, it was more when. And because my bone was dying, I was not a candidate for fusion anymore like I thought, because that's a little tiny one. Because if they were to screw into that bone, it would just chip away, kind of like this dirt. It would just break off and be no good, and the fusion would fail. So there was no point in going through that. However, so whenever I found that out, that I wasn't a fusion candidate anymore, I pretty much decided it was amputation or nothing, because the other options like replacement, I was so young, they didn't want to do a replacement on me because it would only last like 5 to 7 years if it even took, and so that really wasn't an option. And then the cadaver bone, of course, I wouldn't live a very good quality of life, but if I was attached to my foot and I wanted to keep my foot, that would be an option. It's just that I had different priorities. And going back to how I decided to make this decision, taking the feelings out of it, I wasn't attached to my foot. I was attached to my 10 out of 10 quality of life. And the cadaver bone was not going to give that to me. So I decided to amputate. And that brings me to my next question, which is, do I regret it? And the answer is absolutely 100% not. No, I don't. I have the quality of life that I used to have. Yeah, it comes with its inconveniences. Sometimes I can't wear my leg, and when that happens, it sucks. But at the same time, for most of the time, 99% of the time, I am perfectly comfortable. I can do everything that I used to be able to do, or I'm learning how to do it again in a different way. And I'm getting there. It's a work in progress. I'm a year out since amputation, and so I'm still learning, but it's going to be a process, and I'm going to get there. Okay, I had to put my leg up here because it was starting to fall asleep, but I've actually made a really big dent in this pool, and we're right here at this plant, and so I wanted you to be able to see what was going to come out of it, kind of like a treasure hunt, I don't know, but I'm kind of sad to do this because it looks like it was really thriving And all I did was sprout some potatoes on my counter, get some dirt and a pool, poke some holes in the bottom of the pool for drainage, and put the potatoes in there, and they really seem to just thrive. That's a rock. Let's see what's under this plant before I get on to the next question. I see some russet potatoes here. Here's 1 and 2. Let's see what's under this plant. It's got to be attached to something. Oh, nope. It's just a root. That's interesting. So this came out of the potato that I planted, and it looks like it was trying to grow something right there, but I wonder if I could plant this in a pot and it grow more potatoes. But here's another little russet one from the one potato that I planted. Not sure what I should do with that. I wish I could take this with me and not have to leave it behind, but alas, it's hard to move a pool full of potatoes across the country. So here's another one. This is exciting, finding all of these in here. Okay, on to another question while I treasure hunt with you guys. Another question that I get a lot, and one of the questions that I had before I amputated was, what does daily life look like with kids? Would I be able to do it? And that's a little tiny baby one, still has the root on it. The answer is everything is normal. The only part that I really struggle with is in the mornings. So in the morning, because I have a toddler, he comes in and he's immediately, Mom, change me, Mom, get me juice, Mom, get me a snack, I want to watch a movie, you know, all this stuff, like just rapid fire, and I'm not even awake, and I don't have a leg on, and so of course I need to go to the bathroom, I need to brush my teeth, I'd like to take a shower, that doesn't always happen. So with little kids and with stairs, it's a little bit challenging. I need to change my schedule, to be honest, and like shower at night, that way I don't have to do that in the morning and I can just put my leg on. But I like having a clean liner. But if I have 2 liners, then I won't have to worry about that. So I'm just waiting for my final socket. Right now I have a test socket, and I'll get into what system this is and why I have a test socket in just a minute. But whenever I get my final socket, I'll be able to get a second liner that will help with that a lot. So speaking of my prosthetic system, I have a one-way valve suction system, and I did a little clip on the couch that you can watch. Currently, I have a test socket, meaning a plastic socket that can be adjusted as needed. My limb has been going through some rapid shrinkage, and this allows my prosthetist to shrink my socket to fit rather than make a new socket each time, which needs insurance approval and a prescription. My prosthetic leg socket is a suction socket with a liner and ring system. It is equipped with a one-way valve, allowing air to be pushed out when I stand up, but not allow air back in, keeping it securely suctioned to my liner. One of the most asked questions I get is, why do I wear socks? Throughout the day, my limb shrinks and my socket made of plastic doesn't. So I have to add socks to bulk up the sides of my residual limb to fill the volume loss void. It can be very painful when my prosthesis is not an exact fit. A lot of other amputees tell me I can avoid this by trying the vacuum suction socket. I almost did, but after doing some research, I found it was not a good fit for my limb. I have a relief area at the bottom of my socket, allowing for my bone protrusion to move freely without touching my socket. It is the most painful part of my limb, and I am not able to walk if it is touching my socket at all. For this reason, I cannot have a vacuum suction socket system. With the vacuum socket, the constant sucking on the relief area of my skin will cause painful blisters. Even though I hate wearing the socks, I would rather carry around socks throughout the day rather than have painful blisters, not allowing me to wear my prosthesis. Be sure to do your own research before deciding which socket might be best for you. I'm going to put all of my little potatoes in here to save them so that I can get rid of this last little hump right here in the middle of the pool. This is a whole dish full of food here, guys. Of course, it took me months and weeks to grow it, so it's not like fast food or anything. But it's food. Perfectly capable of growing food. I like these little tiny ones. We'll see what's in this middle chunk while I talk about phantom pain. Do I have phantom pain? Yes, I do, sometimes. It's rare, but whenever I eat sugar is when I have phantom pain. I'm just looking for potatoes now. Not worried about getting the dirt out because now I just want to do the treasure hunt. Here's one. A couple of them. I do have phantom pain when I eat sugar and when I'm low on magnesium, and those two correlate. Watch my magnesium video for more information on that. But for the most part, I do not. And the reason I think is because I had TMR surgery, which is targeted muscle reinnervation. And what that does is whenever he did my amputation and he cut the nerves, he tied those nerve endings either to one another or to a muscle group or something like that, so that it fires into something rather than firing into nothing and sending an incomplete signal back to your brain saying, oh my gosh, we hit nothing, something is wrong, causing phantom pain. He tied them into my muscles so it completes the circuit, and the nerve's like, yeah, we're good, we're fine, we completed a circuit. During the day, hardly ever do I have phantom pain unless I've had something sugary. But at night is when they seem to hit more. And I don't take any medications. I don't take anything. I just make sure that my magnesium levels are accurate. And I don't take a test for that. If I have sleepwalking issues or anxiety issues or something like that, then I make sure to take my magnesium and maybe even up the dose or something, or phantom pains. But then whenever I'm acting at a normal level, I know that whatever I'm doing, I can stay consistent. It's all in listening to your body, really. One of the questions that somebody asked on my community page on YouTube was, do I have any pain in my limb? And the answer is, like residual pain, the answer is yes. Behind my calf, right here, where my calf should be, is incredibly painful if you touch it. So the kids might like step on it accidentally when I have my leg off, or the dog will lay on my leg or something and it hurts so bad it will drop me. But I think that's obviously nerve damage, right? So I don't know that will ever go away. And in my socket, it's protected. It doesn't cause me any pain at all. It's only whenever I take my socket off. Okay, I'm starting to get a little overheated, which is something else that happened to me anyway after amputation. I don't know if it happens to everybody, and I'm not sure why, but we're at the last little hump here, so I'm just going to dig it out and see what we can find. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments below. I will try to answer all that I can, and if I can't keep up, then maybe I'll make a follow-up video if I get the same question over and over. But feel free to put them in there, because I always try to answer as many comments as I can, because that's the only reason that I have this channel, is to help other people. So let me know what questions I can answer for you. But the last question that is on the list is for this video. Do I take any pain medication? And the answer is no. I take none. Not Tylenol, not Advil, not prescription medication, absolutely nothing. I don't take anything. And I didn't while I had my broken, dislocated, dead foot either. That's not a life that I wanted to ever live. And it's something that I purposefully protected myself from, because I've seen the effects of what that can do on people. So I decided a long time ago that that's not how I was going to live, and that if I couldn't live anymore with the pain, then I would do something about it, and that's exactly what we did. So no, I don't take any pain medications. In fact, somebody asked me, do I have a hard time filling my prescriptions and things like that? I don't have any prescriptions, none. I don't take any medications at all. I try to live as holistically as possible, and when that doesn't serve me, then I do find medicine that I need for whatever is the problem at the time. But on a daily basis, I don't take anything but my normal vitamins. So that is that. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments. I would love to hear from you. And thanks for joining me today. And I'm going to go cook something yummy with these potatoes. Speaking of cooking, I am live every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time, but check my community page for updates on that, because sometimes I have to miss because I am a busy mom with busy kids, and now I'm moving. So I'll stay tuned for all the updates on moving. I'm kind of scatterbrained right now, but I got to get out of the sun, so I'm going to finish up here, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Have a wonderful day.